I've heard a lot of things in my lifetime, some true, some wildly off the mark. But one of the biggest lies we tell, especially to women, is that their value fades with age. That somehow, after a certain number, 50, 60, maybe even 40, the best years are behind them. That beauty, desirability, power, they're all a young woman's game. That couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, I'd argue, backed by research and by what I've seen time and time again, that many women become more attractive with age. Not less, more. And I'm not talking about anti-aging creams or photo filters. I'm talking about a different kind of beauty, one that doesn't shout but radiates, one that doesn't need to compete for attention because presence alone is enough. So today, I want to walk with you through something important. Let's talk about 11 signs that a woman isn't just getting older. She's stepping into one of the most magnetic phases of her life. Before we dive in, if you find comfort in honest conversations like this, hit subscribe. We share stories that don't just pass time, they help make sense of it. Let's start here, because confidence, the real kind, is magnetic. You've probably noticed it. A woman walks into a room. She's not flashy, she's not loud, but something about her draws people in. The way she carries herself, the calm in her voice, the ease in her smile. That's not the confidence of someone who needs to be told she's beautiful. That's the confidence of someone who knows she is, inside and out, and doesn't need validation to feel it. This kind of confidence doesn't show up in your 20s. It's earned. It's built through decades of trying, failing, learning, and growing. I read a study once from eHarmony. Men over 35 rated confidence as more attractive than physical appearance. And honestly, I get it. Because confidence creates safety. It creates intrigue. And it tells you, this person knows who they are. And that's rare. Here's something you might have noticed if you're a woman over 50 or 60. Young people like being around you. They're not just being polite. They're pulled towards something they may not even have words for. It's not just about admiration. It's about presence. You offer emotional steadiness in a chaotic world. No performance, no people-pleasing, just realness. One 28-year-old I know told me he preferred talking to his aunt over his friends when he was going through a breakup. She just gets it, he said, and she doesn't try to fix me. That emotional intelligence, that grounded calm, that's more attractive than a perfect face or a trending outfit. And people, especially younger people, feel it like a balm. Now, I know sexy might not be the word we expect to hear once we're AARP eligible, but stay with me. When people seek out your thoughts, your take, your stories, that's not just admiration, that's attraction. A woman who can see through the fog, ask the right questions, and offer perspective without preaching. That's rare, that's valuable, and it's incredibly appealing. I came across research in the Journal of Interpersonal Attraction. They found that people rated emotional intelligence and wisdom as some of the top factors in long-term attraction. So if people keep coming to you, not just for comfort, but for insight, that's not just because you're kind, it's because you're deeply compelling. Here's a quiet shift that happens over time, and it's one of the most beautiful signs of inner growth. Attractive older women don't compete. They don't need to. They've grown past the noise of one-upping, the side glances, the subtle comparisons. They know another woman's beauty doesn't take away from their own. Another woman's success doesn't threaten their worth. And instead of tearing each other down, they lift each other up. That energy, it changes a room. There's a kind of grace in not needing to win all the time, in not needing to shine the brightest, in simply being okay, letting others shine too. And ironically, that's exactly the kind of woman people gravitate toward. Because when someone is secure in who they are, you can feel it. And it makes everyone else feel more secure too. Now let's talk about something that might seem superficial, but actually isn't. A woman who knows how to dress for herself, not for trends, not for approval, is telling the world something without saying a word. She's saying, I know who I am, whether it's a well-worn leather jacket, a signature pair of earrings, or a soft scarf that feels like home. There's something powerful in owning your personal style. According to a YouGov poll, 70% of women over 40 said they felt more attractive than they did a decade earlier. Why? Because they finally figured out what works for them, and they stopped apologizing for it. That's not just fashion, that's freedom. You don't beg for attention when you know your value. And one of the clearest signs of a woman in her prime is that she's selective. Not because she's difficult, but because she's discerning. She's learnt the hard way that her time, energy, and love are precious, and she's not handing them out on discount anymore. There's something powerful about that. People notice when you stop chasing and start choosing. They listen harder. They try a little more. Why? Because value commands respect, and nothing is more attractive than a woman who respects herself first. Most people run from silence. They fill it with small talk, nervous laughter, or their phones, but not her. A truly magnetic woman is comfortable with quiet. She listens deeply. She gives people space. She's not afraid of stillness, because she knows who she is when there's nothing left to prove. A therapist once told me, the people who can sit in silence are often the ones we trust most. And isn't that what real attraction is about? Trust, safety, presence. That kind of energy doesn't just soothe, it grounds the people around you. Have you ever heard someone say, she just has something about her? That something is energy. And older women who are thriving, they know how to cultivate it. People compliment their energy more than their looks. You're calming. You light up the room. I feel better after being around you. And it's not about being loud or bubbly or trying too hard. It's about how they make others feel. Research has found that we remember people more for their presence than their physical features. And if your energy makes someone feel grounded, seen, or inspired, that stays with them. That's unforgettable. A woman who sets boundaries is telling you she knows her worth. She says no without a 3-paragraph explanation. She leaves when something doesn't feel right. She doesn't overextend herself just to keep the peace. That's not cold, that's clarity. And clarity is attractive. The Harvard Business Review found that people who confidently set boundaries are perceived as more competent and trustworthy. So, if she no longer tolerates disrespect, or toxic friendships, or draining commitments, it's not because she's hardened, it's because she's healed. One of the biggest myths we tell ourselves is that people stop evolving at a certain age. But attractive older women, they know better. They're learning new skills, pursuing passions, asking questions, and staying curious. They're not stuck in the past. They're present and excited about the future. Whether it's learning a new language, starting a business, joining a book club, or simply taking up watercolor at 67, there's something irresistible about someone who still believes in becoming. Because growth is sexy, passion is magnetic, and a woman who's not finished growing, she's just getting started. Let's clear this up. When people say, you don't look your age, it's often less about wrinkle-free skin and more about vitality, A woman with joy in her voice, with curiosity in her eyes, with energy that says she's still engaged with life. That's what people are responding to. You can't fake that. According to a study in the American Journal of Lifestyle Medicine, women who stayed physically active and mentally engaged were perceived as biologically younger, not because of Botox, but because of energy and engagement. It's not about looking 35, it's about being alive. So here's the truth I want to leave you with today. If you're a woman in her 50s, 60s, or beyond, your beauty hasn't disappeared. It's evolved. It's deeper, wiser, softer in all the right ways, and stronger in all the rest. You are not past your prime. You are standing squarely in it. And if you see even just a few of these signs in yourself, own them, celebrate them, stop deflecting compliments, stop shrinking, stop apologizing for your presence. Because here's what I've learned watching the incredible women in my life. The most magnetic kind of woman is the one who's finally stopped trying to be anyone else. She's not trying to relive her 20s, she's living her truth. And that's more than attractive. That's unforgettable. If this resonated with you or reminded you of someone you love, drop a comment. I'd love to hear what parts spoke to you, what you've noticed in yourself, or what you're still learning to embrace. And if you know a woman who needs this message, share it with her. She deserves to see the beauty and strength in her reflection. Not because someone told her she's still got it, but because she knows she never lost it in the first place. Thank you for being here with me. Until next time, keep shining